Mogg. Hello, I'm Brian Mogg, Golf Digest Top 50 instructor from America. I'm going to talk to you about your grip. It's not one of those fun things that you want to listen to or hear about, but you know, your grip is literally your only link to the golf club. And if you don't have that right, you're asking for a lot of other things to have to go right just to make some good shots. So let's just spend a few minutes, get this part of it right. You can sit on your couch, you can fiddle with it, you can not have to pay a lot of attention, but if you'll do it right a couple of times and get it there, you'll always know that that's in place. We're going to talk about where the club goes in the hand, okay? And you've got to have the club down in your fingers. Where do you drive your car? When do you tie your shoelaces? When do you pick something up? Every time you do one of those things, you do it in your fingers. Why wouldn't we golf the same way? So here's three little keys you can use here. When you get the club, there's a crease right there just below the index finger. You've got another crease in the middle of your top finger. So between the index finger and the base of that hand, the club sits pretty low, not 100% your fingers, but across your fingers. You've then got one crease right up here. Put that crease on top. And if you'll do those three creases and put it in the right spot, you'll have the club in your fingers. Now, what's the upside of that? Well, now you can see most of the back of your hand. You're not going to have a weak grip and potentially slice it. You're going to have a neutral to maybe a slightly strong grip. You're also going to have the ability to set your wrists. As soon as you put the club in your fingers, I can set my hand very easily. If I put my club back in the palm, I'm trying and I can't set that club. So if you don't get the club positioned correctly, you're not going to get the strength of your hand right, which means the club face could be open or closed. You're not going to get it down here where you're going to be able to use your fingers and your wrists, and that's how you create power. And you've got the ability now to actually have grip pressure where it's neutral. It's not hard, it's not soft. If you can do all three of those things, it's a pretty easy fix to make. True story, about 10 years ago at the US Open, men's US Open, one of my students Wednesday afternoon was struggling, and we looked at his grip and we saw that it had slipped up maybe a full inch up into the palm of his hand. It's late the night before the first round of the US Open, and we decided to go for it. It's just something that needs to be in the correct place, even though this was, you know, one of the world's biggest events. We went out the next day and shot 67. He was in second place, and it was like, you know what? If somebody can make a change on the eve of a major, big event, the average golfer can do this on a consistent basis. So go through these checkpoints. Check out your grip and make sure it's in your fingers. Make sure the crease gets on top of the club. Watch the benefits from having a lot more square club face and wrist cock being able to be used, and it's something that's going to really make a big difference in your golf game.